back to Samantha's kitchen. I'm going to carry on with the Greek theme today, and we are going to do my version of moussaka. It is not a traditional version, it is a vegan version, and I pack it full of more veg, and I have not been able to get any aubergines, but you know what? We don't need them. We can make a close as we can moussaka, obviously without using the lemon, things like that. However, if you want to use the meat, any meat, or you want to put in the aubergines, you're more than happy. I'm more than happy to let you know when you need to add them and layer them in to the dish. So, without further ado, let us get on with what we need for today. I am going to add 1 large white onion chopped up. I've got about 7 or 8 tomatoes chopped up. I've got 2 celery sticks chopped up, and I have some chopped up mushrooms, and I have a lemon here. We will also need 2 cups of spinach, but the first cup will go into the sauce itself. Then we will need 3 medium-sized potatoes. I've just got these out of the garden, and I'll show you what to do with them. You'll then need 300 to 400 grams of mince or lamb, or I'm using a vegan substitute. And then for the herbs and spices, there's quite a few. So we will need 2 tablespoons of tomato puree, 1.5 tablespoons of garlic, 1 teaspoon of salt, I'm using Himalayan salt, 1.5 teaspoons of sugar, 1 teaspoon of dill, 1 teaspoon of thyme, 1 teaspoon of basil, 1.5 teaspoons of cinnamon, and 2 heaped teaspoons of oregano. Okay, so let's get cooking. Okay, so into the pan we will need about 1.5 tablespoons of olive oil, and then we are going to put in our vegetables. We are going to leave the mushrooms because I do something a little bit different with the mushrooms in my moussakas. I think it's just quite nice to do, a little bit different, my kind of slant on this. So we will add all the vegetables, leaving the mushrooms. If you don't like this idea of doing this with the mushrooms, what I'll show you later, you can always add them now. But yeah, so we need to give that a stir, and we'll let that cook for a good 10 to 15 minutes on a medium to low heat. We want the onions to cook quite slow, exactly the same as the celery and the tomatoes. We really want to get all those flavours infused, so low and slow for a good 10, 15, maybe even 20 minutes, and I'll come back and I'll show you what it should look like after. So just a little tip when you're actually preparing your potatoes. So for those of you who like straight edges, it can be a little bit of an OCD nightmare when you layer your potatoes, and a really great tip is to cut the bottom so you have a straight edge. So I'm just going to wash this potato and I'll give you an example of that. So as you can see, it's uneven, so if you just slice this like so, so you can see that there is a straight edge there, and then put that like this, and then slice the rest of the potatoes like so, you will always get a flat edge. So then when you're lining your baking tray, you can put the flat edges to that side. Just thought that one might be a tip. You probably already do it, but you know. So the potatoes, while you're waiting for your vegetables to cook, you'll need to cut your potatoes to about this thickness. It is, I would say, 3 to 5 millimeters. So yeah, so we'll cut the rest of those up now. Okay, so the onions now have had a good, I'd say 10 minutes, and now we're in the position to add all our herbs and spices, like so. Making sure we get all the herbs and spices in. Then we'll give that a good mix around. Like so. And now we are going to add our mince. Making sure everything is stirred all the way through really nicely. We're going to add the full lemon, 1 whole lemon, to the dish. As I say, you don't need a lemon juicer. When a sieve's perfectly fine, it's a gimmick. Well, I mean, it could be really handy for people who are doing a lot of juicing, but I think it's really quite successful just doing it like that. And then finally we'll add a tin of tomatoes. Added, and I'm going to add to the actual tin itself, I'm going to add half a cup of water to the tin, like so, and then we're going to add our spinach. Now, I have plum tomatoes, so I'm going to break down those tomatoes just with my spoon, but chop's fine. Also, if you don't have this and you just have passata, get it in there. So let this bubble away for another 15 minutes, and then we'll be ready to put it in the dish in preparation for the oven. Okay, so we've put all the spinach in now, and we are now going to add about 200 mils of red wine. If you don't want to use red wine, you don't have to. You can actually get some really decent stock pot kind of things that have a red wine flavour. I don't think they have any alcohol in it, so for those who don't drink or anything like that, you'd be able to use those, but just double check, because I don't want to be wrong for you, but just double check. As I say, you don't need to put it in if you don't want. I just find it gives a bit of a rich flavour to it. So yeah, so stir in the red wine. It really does, it's surprising the flavour that comes from it, but as I say, I know a lot of people that don't drink at all, and it is perfectly fine to make it without. I have made it without numerous occasions for people, and so yeah, so it's entirely up to you whether you want to make it with red wine or not. And now for some black pepper from the pepper mill that don't ever like to give me pepper. For Christmas I might get a different pepper mill, but it's kind of been my arch nemesis for quite a while. So yeah, you want about, I'd say, a good heaped teaspoon of black pepper for this. And it just really just adds just a wonderful flavour, the black pepper, to Greek and Mediterranean dishes. It really is lovely. So we've added the black pepper now and let that all bubble away. So we want to reduce this liquid, not by much, but we just want to make sure that we cook and infuse all those flavours and make it all scrumptious. So for convenience and time, I am not going to make my bechamel sauce from scratch, partly because I don't have any plain flour. It's been very difficult to get plain flour during lockdown, but I do have some vegan bechamel sauce and it is absolutely amazing. You can actually get vegan bechamel from a couple of superstores now, but I have to say the M&S vegan bechamel sauce is absolutely out of this world. It really is one of the store-cupboard ingredients that you need to keep. It's unbelievable. Marks and Spencer's now are doing such an amazing range of vegan food. They don't find it frightening or scary, they just give it a go. You can get so much there now. No chicken gozas, dirty fries, you name it, they've got everything. They've even got vegan Caesar salad dressing. So yeah, so today we're going to use that, but what I'll do is I'll explain what goes into a bechamel recipe in a different video. So yeah, if you have some bechamel sauce in your store cupboard, you can just top it with that for this one. Okay, so we're going to start and layer, and I like to layer a little bit differently because I don't have any aubergines. Also, other people may not like aubergine. You can, this is why I'm saying it is not a traditional dish, but it's my version of it. And you know what, if you want to layer something with whatever you want, there's no rules. We've stuck to the basic principles of the flavours of the Greek Moussaka dish, and so why not just make it exactly how you want to make it. So I'm going to layer mushrooms, then I'm going to layer some spinach, then my Moussaka ragu, and then the potatoes, and I'm going to repeat that process and layer it over and over again. And that's what we will do. So I'm just going through now. Obviously you won't want to watch me layer everything, but I'll just stop at certain points so you can see what we're doing. Here's my mushrooms, and then I'm just going to layer a few. Don't fully cover it because you actually want the ragu to go through and seep through. So you just want to sprinkle a few on here and just make it pretty and nicer, and you know, look at the layers and look at how you want it organised. You don't have to do it in this way. You can put the spinach on the bottom if you wanted. If you didn't have spinach, that's also fine. But it's also a nice way to pack it full of some flavour as well. So now we're going to add some of the ragu to the dish, and we're just going to thinly layer the ragu because we want to try and get a few layers in. So we're just going to thinly layer this over like so, packed full of goodness, full of vegetables. What is not to love about this dish? So we've got this here like that, and then we'll add the potatoes. So we'll add the potatoes, and do you remember when I said about the flat edge? Look, perfect. Nice and flat to the edge, nice and neat. For those people that have a little bit of OCD like myself, this is perfect for that. Just to make it neat on those edges like so. So we'll we will place the potatoes, and we'll do a full layer of these potatoes, and then we will repeat the process again by adding our mushrooms, then as spinach, and then as a ragu. So yeah, so I'll repeat all those processes and then come back to show you what to do with the bechamel sauce. Okay, I have layered everything that I need to layer now, and I am going to now just pour this bechamel over the top of the moussaka, making sure that it's all nicely covered evenly. You generally are okay with one of these jars, or as I say, I'll do a separate recipe on how to make bechamel, but this is absolutely amazing from Marks and Spencer's. It is well worth getting for your lasagnas or moussakas, whatever you want to make. So you need to preheat your oven now to 200 degrees, and we're going to keep an eye on this because as I say, ovens can vary considerably, so we need to just keep an eye on this, but we're looking for a really nice golden brown baked appearance on this dish. And I also like to add a little bit of hard cheese at the end. You could add Greek hard cheese at the end if you wanted. We don't have a lot of vegan Greek hard cheeses yet available, so we have to make do with what we've got, but you would use a Greek hard cheese if you want. Okay, so now that's covered, it's ready to go in the oven. Okay, the moussaka now has had about 40 minutes in the oven, and for the last 10 minutes we're going to add some feta cheese. We're just going to put the feta cheese, just dot it around. Be really careful of your hands because you don't want to burn yourself. This is very, very hot. So we're just going to put some feta cheese on, and then what we'll do is we'll just sprinkle it with a little bit of hard cheese then, and then for the last 10 minutes we'll put it back in the oven. As I say, oven temperatures vary, so keep an eye on it. Don't make just be careful, don't over burn it or anything like that. But this just adds just a little bit of something a bit special, just adding a little bit of feta. I'm using vegan feta. If there's anybody that knows of any hard cheeses, Greek hard cheeses that are vegan, if you could comment either on my YouTube or Instagram, I would really appreciate that, because trying to find them, I'm a little bit unsure of where to look. I have heard from others that there is some, but I've not been able to find any yet. So we will be using just normal vegan hard cheese, and we're just going to sprinkle this just a little bit, nothing major, just a little sprinkle like so, and then we'll put that in the oven for another 10 minutes and then we should be ready to serve. Okay, this has just come out of the oven. Look at this. Oh, it's absolutely delightful. Look at it. Bubbling away. Oh my goodness. What more could you want? Moussaka. Absolutely beautiful. Okay, I think we are ready to serve up a little bit of this. Oh my goodness, look at this. Oh my goodness. Oh my. Oh, look at this. Could you want anything as good as that ever. Oh, look at it. It smells so amazing. It's beautiful. Oh, enjoy. Stay safe, everyone. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. Hit that notification button. Take care. See you soon.